Hello. This is Eldrad Wolfsbane, the unofficial wizard of the OSR, actually making a video longer than a short. Well, today is Sunday, 10/05/2025. Just got done with a really great game by DM Hugs. Playing Borrowfell, a mixture of two of the Greg Gillespie modules, using the Dragon Slayer rules. Great time. But last night, I said, damn it, my local group that has been falling apart for years, the in-person group, not the online group, I said, I'm going to get back to the dungeon role-playing game, and I'm going to get my two players that I have left in the group, and there's a bunch of orphans, but we'll go over that later. Role-playing game orphans that seem to be some good players, but their groups are breaking up throughout the years, pandemic and people moving away, because after hurricanes, people move the hell away from an area. So, basically, back to the Dungeon 2E, or 2nd edition. After last night, I will be scrubbing most of the weird races. They will either go into another book or disappear completely. Basically, lessons learned. Had another in-person game go to shite. It's the local group remnants. And what we've had is we try to get some games going, a bunch of one-shot weekends. Ends up being some free Kriegspiel role-playing, or FKR, free Kriegspiel Renaissance role-playing, whatever you want to call it, type games going on. But basically a bunch of one-shot weekends. Been trying my ass off for the last few years to get an actual damn campaign going. Also, pretty much everyone says they want a campaign. Everyone says that, but who's even trying it? I mean, do have the one guy who's like the 2E, the 2nd edition, like, fanatic. He's like, we could get one going, but he does nothing. So basically, I got that player out there. There's an option to play something stupid, and square peg, he'll play it. Claims to be against the new school, but almost totally always plays the wrongest character he can play. I had this problem before with younger 5e groups playing stupid race options, or species if you want to be politically correct. Only thing I can give advice is Game Masters, make sure you limit the races and classes options if you have to. Because if you no one would play a barista sphincter character. There will be somebody out there to play that. And, his brother's a good guy and claims to be the 2nd edition guy who's very hardcore, old school, but he ended up playing an eagle humanoid race, which is, I'll just say this, when it comes to 2nd edition, he's the ultimate game spaz. Yet he plays weird races like a new school player as well. Okay. I'll give you an example, though. This guy's brother, like in the Punks in Metal Down South 1990X role-playing game, he was one of the people back in the day that the game was based off of. He was kind of a hardcore mother dude, son of a gun, back in the day. And instead of playing some kind of punk or metalhead like he was back in the day, so he could kind of identify with this game. And, we were a bunch of conspiracy theorists, dope-smoking, long-haired, spiky-haired looking son of a guns. He chose to play something stupid. I mean, the game was supposed to be an experience of what it was like to live back in 1990X. And 1990X is from anywhere from 1985 to 1995. That's the year 19X. In a future past of a pre-dystopian world. Basically, we had it where the United Nations started to put in the blueberries, the blue helmeted people. We call them blueberries. It was kind of a cool punk rock thing. And, but it wasn't quite cyberpunk, but it was pre-dystopian. But what did this guy choose? And, knowing that a part of the game was written by him, he chose a character that didn't really fit in any way for what, he used to be like. So, not the experience, unless you was a road warrior dude. So he chose a road warrior. And was not it was something that wasn't going to be in the story, couldn't be fit in. Needless to say, just about every game we play is just a one shot, either some free form or some other set of rules I have. And my thing is this is one of my best friends in the world, but I don't know if he's clueless or just a contrarian. He's, like I said, he's one of my best friends in the world, but he inadvertently torpedoes campaigns. And it's happened so many times that, I don't know. I don't know if he does it on purpose, which might make him a dick, and then I wouldn't even want to be his friend, but, I don't think that's what he does. Him and his brother are basically, and this is what just about everybody that's game with him said, they're non-adventurous adventurers. In, my dungeon, the Black Stairs, it was basically, they were so careful that, about 110 to 120 rooms per level, over a 3-year period, they barely explored any of this dungeon. It was kind of like, had some other players play it, and they made it all the way down to the 3rd level in the first game. Of course they were only 1st level, and they shouldn't be on 3rd level. Met a wraith, and luckily they ran away, but so basically we've been having all these one-shots. So basically, so careful in my game, and basically my greatest mega dungeon, the Black Stairs, that I've ever written in the history of my life, goes nowhere for years. So basically, like I said, we played back to the dungeon role-playing game for about 2.5 years, and they barely made any parts of the dungeon because they were so damn careful. And they would urge other players, hold on, let's watch out. I've got to admit, none of their characters died because they didn't do anything heroic. Now, when we had a 5e game, because eventually I got fed up with my rules and started playing 5th edition, we had this really cool game where it was set in Waterdeep, and I had the East Wall Inn, which was going to be a published thing during the 2014 edition of D&D. And there was this thing called it was a wish stone, basically, of a family that was actually owned by demons. They had stolen it, and it was our low-level characters, but they actually had a wish stone. And of course, his character was like, I'm not trying the wish stone. He was so careful with the wish, that he didn't do anything. And then he changed characters mid-game, and that character that was out of the game, he basically took off with the magic item, the wish stone. Basically totally derailed my entire campaign. And then that happened, and between schedule change and people's life changing and stuff, I moved to another unit during this giant mega turnaround, mega job. The campaign died, but big portion of it was him. And with that, basically, I realized I've messed up in Back to the Dungeon role-playing game. I have all these race options that are overpowered and stupid, but it's one of those things of, if you're in a civilized campaign, not to want to play something like a Minotaur like you was playing last night. So just because you can play a race or class doesn't mean you should. And I tell people, if you have these in your game, make sure and mention this race won't fit in the campaign. And I did mention, by the way, a Minotaur is not going to work in civilized society. I got there at his house too late, and basically it seemed cool until the math stacked up and it was way too powerful. This Minotaur race hasn't been play tested, and it's been deleted since. It may be in the future, but we wasted time even rolling the damn thing up. So basically what I did, I said, well, since we have an eagle character, which is his brother, and he's a minotaur, an arena battle, I'll start them off in the arena in the small town that's near the dungeon, or actually the small city. That seems like it would fit. You know, he wipes out 2 ogres and a brute ogre. And due to mistake in the orc brutes in my rule system, which I have changed, his character was wiped out by 4 of them because they get 2 attacks around and they have all this bonus damage. And they did way more damage than, like, they do as much damage as a character would. So basically, a game fail. And like I said, been trying for years to get a campaign started. I thought this weekend, I will get a campaign started. But I can't go with that stupid character for any kind of campaign. And basically, throughout the years, it's been fail after fails. I mean, you know, these other people, like, you know, literally back in 2015 or 16, I came out with Back to the Dungeon because the organized gameplay that was going on, the guy that was the whatever the D&D organized play was a Nimrod, a complete jackass. He was somewhere on the spectrum and just a, you know, completely abrasive personality. I'll give you an example. During a convention, there was a 14-year-old little kid, the first time he ever played D&D, and he happened to be playing a drow. And this guy that is the leader of the official organized play actually grabbed him by the throat and goes, "You're a drow," and you know, this little kid was like, "I'm rolling and playing a game on pen and paper, and you just grabbed me by the throat for real." Needless to say, it was at my game table, so I'm like, "Dude, let that MFer go right now, and do not put your hands on people ever again. What the hell's wrong with you?" So anyway, just giving an example of why we didn't have organized play in the area. I was trying to use my game Back to the Dungeon, which is basically a midget compared to the gigantic onslaught power of 5th edition. So eventually, like I said, I went to 5th edition. But basically fails after fails. So basically my 2nd edition of Back to the Dungeon will be scrubbing most of the weird races, and they will probably go into another book or disappear. So going to edit out all the stupid races, can't even give some players those options. Now, once again, these players are supposed to be old school players that go, "We really hate modern gaming," but every chance they have to play something screwed up and overpowered, that's the very one they choose. So I'm going to trim the rules if I get time, and I'm not going to have time. So this will maybe like 6 months to a year. Everything is, you know, screwed up here. Basically, this is one of those great revelations. Shit. Should I just say fuck it and go with another set of rules? Because, you know, when you write your own set of rules, you're going to keep finding goddamn holes in your rules. You will. That's just how it's going to happen. Get back, stupid dog. Okay. Dog is trying to get out. Basically, you know, all these years of trying to get a campaign going with my set of rules, and the good parts are good. I did add some stupid stuff and I needed to get that, but, you know, I'm just sick of it, you know. I've been trying to get an in-person campaign or an online one of my own, but due to the chaotic family schedule, it's kind of hard to schedule that stuff out. Like the online stuff, if I like said, "Hey, a week from now I'll be doing this, I'll be having this game," I can't actually say that or do that because of my family schedule. Unfortunately, I have a lot of stuff planned out. I don't even know what's happening, So, what am I going to do here? Do I get with these players and have a talk? I mean, we're friends at a level that I can tell them that they suck at gaming and have been called by others the non-adventurous adventurers. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to say, "By the way, what do other players say? You know, they say that y'all suck as gamers because, you know, oh, there's a dungeon, there's danger." And they're like, "We're not going to go there. We're going to go the other way. We're going to go back to town and like shop for maple muffins or some shit like that." So, or should I just stop playing any games at all, which is not what I want to do, and still hang out, because, I mean, these are some of my best friends in the world, and just play board games. But my thing is, I want art role-playing games. I could get another group together, because there are some potential gamer orphans out there looking for games. But you always have to ask the question, and you know this if you've been gaming for a while: why are these people gamer orphans? How many times have you had that player show up at your house and go, man, this guy's such a great gamer. Why doesn't he have a group? And then it becomes evident after a few sessions why this completely screwed up human being is now trying to attach himself to your gaming group or your friends or your household, because like the rest of the people all leave. And, so the other option is get my old group, get the gamer orphans, and see what happens. Just kind of get them together, and maybe some of these other gamers, because some of these gamer orphans are actually very experienced gamers, and they've been out there for a while, and some of them I know by reputation. A few of them are game masters themselves, but then when it comes to that, then what system? Because, I'll be perfectly honest, I'm kind of selfish, and I'd love it to all be back to the dungeon, but if it's not, will it be the mainstream 5th edition, or will it be the new OSR 3rd edition, or will it be something else? I mean, basically what I need to do is find one system between all these different game masters, and if that's the case, it'll probably be 5th edition, which it'll be the 2014 edition that came out on my birthday, by the way. No, but anyway, not the 2024 edition. Or it'll be advanced D&D. I got one guy going, it's got to be 2nd edition. That's the best edition ever. Which is, 2nd edition is the 4th edition of the old school. Okay, sorry. But at the same time, 2nd edition came out with the best setting deals for like Forgotten Realms, because every town had a map, every town had a map and a legend, and if you traveled around the Forgotten Realms in the 2nd edition, you really felt like you were there because they had all the details. So we gotta give it that. So what do you think? Honestly, I've been having a few adult beverages, frustrated because, today I did have a great game with DM Hugs and Barrowfell, which is Barrowmaze and Highfell mixed together. And I gotta admit, it's pretty damn clever. Had a great game with that. Sadly, had some internet connection problems, so I only heard half the game. And I think it was evident because they were like, what's going on with you, man? Playing my guy Looney Loonberry, the halfling, who's kind of crazy, and he told us this. But anyway, so what do you think? Should I just get rid of everybody and just not game ever again? Should I get with the old group and have a talk with them? I think I want to have a talk with them just to have fun with it, to tell them, by the way, once again, since you're my good friends, you're like screwed up. You like suck as gamers and you need to improve. You think you're good, but you're not. Or should I get with these gamer orphans and see what's up with them? Or should I have a combination of my old friends and the gamer orphans? Now, let's go back to my old friends. When it comes to my old friends, one of the guys, the one that's the contrarian, he actually, me and him got together and wrote a zombie apocalypse role-playing game called Without Hope. Zombie survival RPG, and it is probably one of the best, it is the best zombie apocalypse horror role-playing game. Now, the editing is not the best, and we had a guy edit it for us, and he kind of didn't, or if he did edit it, the version that got sent in was our unedited version or something. I don't know. I'm going to edit it eventually myself. Hopefully this next job I have will give me time. So anyway, I'm just rambling because I've had a few adult beverages. Looking forward to my game tomorrow at a Monday night after I get off of work. That should be nice. Okay, well, this is one of my first long videos in many, many, many months. Eldred Wolfsbane, unofficial wizard of the OSR, signing out. Please like, subscribe, and tell me what you think.